I think the longer the beginning after the end goes on, the more the internet won't like what I'm about to say about these episodes. Because, truth be told, I'm liking it. If you give me the option, as I've said, between a better produced show or currently, I'm not blind. I would take the better produced show. But the art is at a static level enjoyable. Like the art design, the character models, they're consistent enough. So like even though it's very stiff in a lot of scenes, at least it's not ugly to look at, right? But the thing is I'm really enjoying the story right now. And all I heard prior to the show starting was that it wouldn't get good until core 2. Um I don't know what those people were smoking because the past few episodes have really got me engaged. Like, I had fun, like most did when the show started. You know, it ended before it began. Timu, Mishuko Tensei, all those fun little jokes, they made me laugh. But at the end of the day, I'm really enjoying Arthur's story, and I think it was probably smart to do the time skip. If you didn't see after the credits, there's like 20, 30 seconds. And it shows the time skip happen. So, but the idea that seemingly his training was probably just going to be montages of him fighting Gramps, I mean, I think they're probably, you could make an argument they could have done a couple episodes, even if it wasn't in the source of like just seeing more bonding. But I think it's more appropriate to get the time skip out of the way, see them a little older, a little more mature, and see what's happened between this episode and obviously where the current timeline is. Either way, though, you had a show that had like this generic, like, oh, I don't like this human, and clearly I probably have a crush on Tess. And our boy just one punch man, sucker punches him, spins him like a Beyblade, and refuses to elaborate. If you want me to come up here and say, grr, I hate this show, okay. this show, how dare it exist? But my actual opinions are, well, yes, I would definitely prefer it to be animated much better and maybe less panning shots. I'm having a damn good time, and very similar to Tower God Season 2, while that show definitely crashed out visually quite a few times, and the first half of the story of Season 2 wasn't the best, I enjoyed the story by the end, but this one actually caught my interest a lot sooner, so, well, yes, I'm crossing my fingers that the second core, which I think we get in fall, is going to be better produced. I'm enjoying the narrative, and I don't know why people told me it would take me to like episode 13 to really see where it was going, because for an intro, for a setup establishing arc, I'm really enjoying it. Of course, so I got those full live reactions over on my Patreon. You want to support my work, see my full thoughts on all of these episodes over there exclusively. So we do get something I was very happy. I thought we were sending a letter. Turns out we actually phone into the parents by doing this almost like a voice of God into their heads. And we do it on his birthday, seemingly. Didn't realize that, but okay. So I'm not sure if this was a one-time thing. I kind of assume it was, but I really hope not, because this old biddy in this hut, she's like, hey, I'll help you out. I'm kind of the person who sees the future, sees the past, but I can also hook you up and give you a FaceTime call in the form of voice of God. Nice of her. But I hope they allowed him to do that multiple times, because he should have been allowed to do that at the very least once a month. I want to say once a week, but, you know, without being too greedy, once a month. Unless there's some stipulation they didn't really highlight, it did not seem like, oh, we had to use this rare herb or this rare potion, you know, something that cost an arm and a leg. It just seemed like she's like, hey, look into the bowl. All right, talk to your parents. Like, it really felt effortless for her, so I really hope it wasn't a one-time thing. If it was a one-time thing, I mean, I guess it's better than just sending a letter, because I thought there was going to be a misinterpretation. Because if you send a letter or a message or whatever it is, some elf or an elven letter comes to your home, we have your son. No matter how you phrase it, it could look like, oh, the elves kidnapped our boy. And that could be a whole ass arc of, you know, the dad trying to find it. It could have been messy. But by phoning in that message, it pretty much clears it up, because they hear his voice and they're like, okay, yeah, clearly, like, he's okay. It's going to take him a bit. It still leaves a lot of interpretation of like why it will take him a bit to get home, but at least it clears it up more than a letter would have. So I actually really like that. And honestly, the fact that the dad came around to Arthur, mainly because Gramps is like, he's my apprentice, and he's like, shit. Well, if this kid's going to be, dad's apprentice here, I gotta like get rid of my my kind of bullshittery. And he actually apologizes, even if Arthur realizes the only reason he's actually doing it is because, well, he can't really talk back to Gramps, and I absolutely love that. And, you know, the intro shot too, and seeing how, like, that spear ripped through his chest, and just, like, it's going to be very interesting to see what that will look like, because either they're going the route that that evil presence or whatever it is going to hatch in whatever the dragon thing gave us, which I still think is an egg, or it will just be that's his power and he's now controlling it. Whatever they do, I don't know. Them being at least teenagers now definitely increases the enjoyment of the show, because while I do like the idea of seeing a full life, you know, starting from scratch and working their way up, I think you can only keep them kids for so long before it gets, you know, a lot more boring. Because, I mean, look at the fact that Arthur, in the fight when he saved Tess, he was good one-on-one, but once he actually got jumped, you know, his body wasn't really capable of fighting adults or multiple people. Plus, his body was actively trying to kill him. So now, by having proper training over multiple years, his action scenes will be more engaging, that is if the visuals keep up, but also his character maturity and everything will be a lot more interesting, and he'll be a lot more closer to that of his original mindset and body, even though he's clearly having a much more enjoyable life this time around than he clearly did the first time. I don't know, I'm liking it. I think the story structure is interesting. I like the idea that the intro kind of had that Mushoku Tensei hook, but very quickly went and did its own thing. And I don't know, I enjoy the character of Arthur a lot, and I think more than a lot of isekai MCs from the get-go, because he has a complicated past very clearly, but more so in that royal, like, murderous king role who had to do his job and other people basically kind of actually controlled the capital, and now he's actually living a life that he wants to live, even if some things aren't going exactly according to plan. The art is looking solid to me. The animation, when it is there, is, you know, it's serviceable. But yeah, it should be a lot better. But honestly, this is far from the worst looking show I'm watching this season. And I have to keep hammering in on that. I think most likely, if this show had better production, I think a lot of the outrage targeting this would just be put on other shows. Because, I don't know, like, to a certain degree, I get why sane source readers are like, oh, you know, we look at these shows like Attack on Titan, a Demon Slayer, you know, and they got this amazing production, got the best talent. I do get that, but I do feel like a lot of people are just like latching onto the hate because it's the popular thing to do. Because if you actually look at the viewership numbers, the streaming numbers, and seemingly the success in Japan, this is a very popular series, and it's more than just because people are hate watching it. That sometimes does make things remain popular. You can look at the Velma show as an example. But this one legitimately does seem like, you know, your average fan is watching and enjoying it. And I'm one of those people. I really enjoy it. I wish it was better in certain ways, but yeah, I mean, given that I watch like 20 things in a season and I can probably pick 4 or 5 shows that I think objectively look and move worse than this, that's just anime for you. And I don't really have a connection to the source material. I'm just like, oh, this is a pretty good isekai story, so I'm having fun. Let me know your thoughts down below. We are now officially in the teenage to young adult years, seemingly, and I'm excited to see what they do. But your thoughts? Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell. And like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on my Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we got Late Night Riddance, Alex, Korisama Fan, Powwoof, Zexabees, A Glitched Eevee, Frank the Bank, Fred A, Simon175, Ale, Isaac Thulling, and we also have Kamozo Beat. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.